Hey Cowboys Nation! Welcome back to Cowboys News TV, your one-stop shop for all things Dallas Cowboys. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on our boys. Now, let's get into what was one of the most hard-fought wins of the season so far, Cowboys 20, Giants 15. This wasn't just any win, this was a gritty, tough victory in the face of adversity. No sarcastic eye rolls, please. Let's break it all down, from the defensive standouts to Dak Prescott's bounce-back performance and everything in between. And as always, we'll be asking for your thoughts throughout the video, so stay tuned and drop your comments below. We came into this Thursday night game against the Giants already dealing with some huge losses on defense. Both of our starting cornerbacks were out, Darren Bland missed his fourth consecutive game, and it's likely he'll miss the next two as well. Then his backup, rookie Kalen Carson, who had started the previous 3 games, was out with a shoulder injury. Things didn't get any better when Trayvon Diggs left the game in the second half with dehydration issues, and then our defensive line took a hit when DeMarcus Lawrence exited with a foot injury, and later, Micah Parsons with an ankle issue. By the end of the night, the Cowboys were finishing the game without their top 3 defensive ends, as Sam Williams was already on IR with a torn ACL. If you're keeping count, that's a lot of key players on the sidelines. Despite all this, the Cowboys managed to pull out a win, and not just any win, but a defensive masterclass. The Giants were held to 15 points, all from field goals. Greg Joseph, recently signed off the Detroit practice squad, made all 5 of his attempts, but the Cowboys' defense stood tall, keeping the Giants out of the end zone all night. What do you think was the most impressive part of the Cowboys' defense in this game? Was it holding the Giants to 15 points? Or maybe limiting their run game to just 26 total yards? Let us know in the comments below. After back-to-back losses where the defense allowed 72 points and a combined 464 rushing yards to the Saints and Ravens, the Cowboys stepped up big time. The Giants, who were expected to run all over us with Devin Singletary filling in for Saquon Barkley, managed just 1.08 yards per carry. That's right, Singletary had 24 yards on 14 carries. This is the same defense that allowed 190 rushing yards to the Saints and 274 to the Ravens. Talk about a turnaround. Even with guys like Andrew Booth, who struggled early and was eventually replaced by Amani Oruwariye, the Cowboys' defense bent but didn't break. Oruwariye, who was elevated from the practice squad on game day, made a huge impact, intercepting Daniel Jones' Hail Mary pass to seal the win and breaking up 2 more passes. Marshawn Kneeland, Chauncey Golston, and veteran Carl Lawson, all backups for practice squad players, stepped up in Lawrence and Parsons' absence. And let's not forget second-year nose tackle Mazi Smith, who's gaining confidence by the week and helped hold down the middle of the field. Which defensive player stood out to you the most in this game? Was it Mazi Smith, Amani Oruwariye, or someone else? Vote in our poll and leave your thoughts below. On the offensive side of the ball, the Cowboys are still far from firing on all cylinders. But Dak Prescott stepped up when we needed him most. After 2 tough losses, Prescott threw 2 touchdown passes, completing an impressive 81% of his passes, and played turnover-free football. He also connected with CeeDee Lamb for a highlight reel 55-yard touchdown pass, showing that Lamb is still a force to be reckoned with in this offense. We also saw the continued emergence of Rico Dowdle, who rushed for 46 yards on 11 carries and caught a 15-yard touchdown pass off a screen. Dowdle's development is a big deal, especially with the running game still struggling to find its footing after Tony Pollard's injury earlier this season. And how about kicker Brandon Aubrey? He nailed another 60-yard field goal, making him just the second NFL kicker to hit multiple 60-yarders in a single season. Unfortunately, his streak of 50-plus yarders came to an end after missing from 51, but he's been rock solid for us all year. How do you feel about Dak's performance in this game? Is he back on track, or does the offense still have work to do? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's discuss. At 2-2, the Cowboys aren't out of the woods yet, but this win could be the spark they needed. We've got a tough road game coming up against the Pittsburgh Steelers next week, followed by a home game against the Detroit Lions. There's no room for error, but the resilience this team showed against the Giants is a step in the right direction. No matter what happens, this was a win to build on, especially considering all the injuries and adversity. As Dak Prescott said, this win allows the team to get their minds and bodies right, build confidence, and, most importantly, build momentum. Now, looking ahead to the upcoming matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cowboys will face a significant challenge. The Steelers are coming off a dominant defensive performance, led by none other than T.J. Watt, who continues to be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. With the uncertainty around the Cowboys' offensive line due to injuries, containing Watt will be crucial if the Cowboys hope to build on this momentum. Dak Prescott will need to rely on quick decision-making and perhaps a heavier dose of the running game, featuring Rico Dowdle and possibly a returning Tony Pollard if he's healthy. The offensive line will be key here, especially the interior, where players like Zach Martin and Tyler Smith will have to win their matchups against a fierce Steelers front seven. If Dak has time in the pocket, we could see another big performance from CeeDee Lamb, who's been a consistent playmaker all season. But let's not forget about the defense. As impressive as the Cowboys' defense was against the Giants, they'll have to step up even more against the Steelers. Kenny Pickett is no slouch, and the Steelers have an emerging star in George Pickens, who has the ability to stretch the field and make contested catches. The Cowboys' banged-up secondary, especially with Trayvon Diggs potentially out again, will have their hands full. Amani Oruwariye and Andrew Booth will need to lock in and play tight coverage to limit the Steelers' big play ability. It's also an opportunity for younger players like Motzie Smith and Chauncey Golston to continue building on their recent performances. If the pass rush can get to Pickett early, we could see some turnovers that shift the game in our favor. Now, we've got to talk about the importance of the next few weeks. With the Detroit Lions looming after the Steelers, this stretch will be critical in defining the Cowboys' season. Can they claw their way back into the playoff picture, or will the inconsistency continue? Cowboys Nation, what are your predictions for the next two games? Will we go 2-0, 1-1, or do you think we might struggle and drop both? Cast your vote in the poll and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Before we wrap up, let's not forget to keep an eye on the injury updates throughout the week. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Trayvon Diggs are all pivotal to the Cowboys' success, and if they can't go against Pittsburgh, the next man-up mentality will need to be stronger than ever. As always, we'll be here to break down all the news, injuries, and matchups leading up to the Steelers game, so make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell turned on. This is Cowboys News TV, and we're just getting started. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video. Go Cowboys!